All right, good stuff. Okay, hi, welcome.
You're here. I'm so happy you're here.
So we haven't historically done these parent meetings, but then for a good 2 or 3 months, we're trying to hunt people down, or people have, you're missing information, and it's a lot of just once a week. And so we thought this might be a nice way to start the year off so that everyone's on the same page. The parents are aware of what you're getting into, so welcome. And hopefully if you have questions and you get them all answered today, but we'll stick around after this too if you still kind of have one of the things you want to look at. She and I will be here all afternoon, so if after the meeting you still have questions that you don't want to ask during this kind of group session, you are very welcome to stick around after and talk to us too. I'm Lauren Spurlock. I'm the executive director of this program. I'm the one that you got the email from that said, welcome to NAP, you are in the program now. You can start to put a face to a name. I do most of the administrative part of this program, so staffing, getting students enrolled, making sure you have space and materials and can travel and do all the things. You can think of me as kind of like the principal, I guess, but we have a very different structure than an average school. Okay, so that leads me to the only other full-time staff in this program. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Jillian Van Horn, student. I am the certified teacher on record, so I'm what makes it official. I do the attendance, I do grades. I'm the one that most of you will be communicating with, or I will be reaching out to. Sorry, of course, last year was like, I will do a lot of the, hey, if you have any issues, I'm reaching out and help. I'm the one who's going to be bugging you the most. She will bug you for active things. I will bug you about student things. My job is just to make sure that everything is legit and that the student gets credit for this.
So in addition to the two of us, which that's names, but in addition to us, we have 13 other people that come in as part-time staff. These are our resident artists, and that's what makes our program really unique. So for every single class, there is something that comes in. Most of them are from industry. So for example, if you're taking the photography class, she is the teacher of record. She's the one on your schedule. She'll take attendance, give you a grade. But the class itself is led by a gentleman named Luigi, who's a photographer here at town. He's not a teacher, he's a photographer. So he comes in and teaches what it takes to become a photographer as a career, maybe. He brings his expertise in that skill. And so for every one of our 13 classes, there is an expert in the room that comes from industry that may or may not have very much teaching background, which is why we have a teacher who specializes in teaching. So it's a really cool setup because, I mean, think about it, at most of your normal home campuses, when you're in arts or any one of your classes, you're usually in a room full of about 40 kids and 1 adult. And in our classes, you have 2 adults plus me, who likes to be like a helicopter teacher. And then you have maybe 8 to 15 kids in that class. So they're getting a lot of one-on-one, a lot of specialized instruction. Everything is very, very collaborative. It's all hands-on. You will not be taking notes or taking tests and quizzes. You're going to be showing us, things by doing them. And so that's what's really special about it. It's exciting. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun, mainly because of this structure, where we have actual artists in the room teaching you. Or artists. That's just brief update. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so let's just talk about this week. We are in the week that you guys start classes. You all should be starting school tomorrow at your home campus. So MAP this year is also starting tomorrow because we're starting on a Tuesday. MAP goes from Tuesday to Friday. So we are also starting tomorrow. You all should know what day your class meets. Every class only meets once a week. We say this a lot because it is very confusing at the beginning. You're going from every day of the week to here you only go once a week. Make sure you know what day your class meets on. I do have it up there. I will have it on your campus homepage. It'll be on your schedule. It'll hopefully be in places that you guys can find it. But when in doubt, you can check it out now, or you can ask us. We love to answer questions. So that being said, we're starting tomorrow or through Friday, so depending on your classes. You will meet me here, right here in this auditorium. You already know where to go because half of you are here. You will walk in the doors, you'll come in here, and you will meet me here about 3 o'clock. I have you from 3 to 3:30 every day for your classes. And then I kick you over to those artists, the resident artists that we talked about, and then that's where I bounce around and I check on meetings after this time. But tomorrow, this week, your first class is going to be a little bit different because you're going to be introduced to the program. I'm going to have a spiel. We'll have stuff like that. You will get to meet your artists by the end of the day. Yeah, I open the door at the building, that door all the way to the side, I unlock it at 2:40. I cannot open it sooner than that because school is in session here at Yuma High and it's a security risk. Otherwise, I have to do a whole bunch of other stuff and we just don't do that. So I will open the door at 2:40. If for some reason you need to be here sooner, it's more convenient, you have a weird day, always communicate with me. If I'm around, I will probably let you in sooner. You can hang out in my office with me. We'll talk about it. But if there's for some reason you need to be here sooner, just communicate that with me. I answer my emails. But otherwise, 2:40. Classes are over at 5:30. I'm not chasing students out of the building at 5:30, but it's pretty close because I get off at 5:30. The artists are done at 5:30. So we will be closing up the building at 5:30. Students are welcome to hang out in that front area to wait for rides, but I really just ask that you guys pick them up properly. But we know where it happens, so.
All right. Okay. We have grown this year, so I guess I'll go back. We're in our 3rd year of NAP, and the first year we had about 50 students in the program. They were mainly from Yuma High because we were here on campus. It was awesome, but we were much smaller. Last year we went up to about 80 students in the program. Many of those kids had multiple classes because we had room for them. And now we had 9 classes, 80 students last year. Now we have over 200 students and we have 13 classes. So we have grown significantly in a short amount of time. I have been here for all 3 of those years. Well, 2 and a half at this point, I guess. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot more to it now. We've grown in every way. And that's because it's good stuff, right? People come to things that are going well and are productive and awesome. Word is spreading around town, right? This program is awesome. That being said, the reason for some of these more security things, attendance and stuff like that, we are going to hold you to a high standard. The reason we have the parents in this room today is to make sure you know what you're getting into, because we cannot maybe hunt you down the way we could have when there were only 50 students in this program. So we're going to ask that you take this information and, really follow it. Our classes are full. At this point, if everybody shows up and is still in the class that is signed up for it, I can no longer accept students into those classes, okay? They are full. The only way that would change is if when school starts, there's a significant number of kids that just don't show. Then I would maybe start to have openings and I can start to fill those seats with people. But if you have friends that are like, hey, I want to join class with you or whatever, at this time, most classes are totally full. The only one we're still advertising that does have room is the show choir. It meets on Thursdays. That class still has openings. So if you are interested in, I could see kids that are in like garage band or musical theater that want extra vocal help or extra choreography help. I could see that being beneficial. And then on the flip side, like say you're in the drawing class and you're never going to get to be on stage all year, maybe this would be an opportunity for you to take a performance class. So I can see lots of reasons why students would want to add this on. I will allow this as a second class. So if you're wanting 2 math classes, which is most of you will not be allowed that opportunity. If you are wanting 2 math classes, you can join show choir. The way that you would do that is come see me right when this meeting is over and tell me that you want to be in that class, okay? Or you could email. Yes. It would take up more time out of your weekly schedule, yes. And so if you're someone that's already stressed about, you wouldn't want to be here until 5:30 2 nights a week, then that wouldn't be for you. There are students that are like, can I be here every day till 5:30? The answer is no, but we will allow 2 nights if that's what you're really feeling and you think that this class would be fun for you. Okay, but yeah, it's a good point. I mean, don't stress yourself out because everything is rosy when it's August 1st and then you get to like October 15th and you're like, well, I'm going to do this, why is there so much going on? So be smart about your schedule, but if this would fill your cup and you're like, I would love this, then let me know, and I can still put a few more people in the show choir class. Show choir is like, this is old school, but if you've seen the show Glee, singing pop cover songs to basic choreography, I guess is what you would call a show choir. Corollaires, royalaires, in tones that he would rich, those are show choirs. Okay, singing, yes.
Lynn's is gonna be in.
Yeah, we got a few of you in here. People that like to sing and dance, or maybe just want to learn. This is an entry level class as well. So like for me, I'd be intimidated to join this because I can dance, but I can't sing. This is for people that feel like they want to learn how to do that. They're maybe not already awesome at it. They can teach you in a class. You just have to want to learn. Okay.
All right, this is where I get to talk to you guys a little bit about our expectations. If you come to the previous information nights, I know a lot of this is kind of repeated, but we really want to make sure you guys understand. So first things first, students, what do you bring the first day of class? Or any of the classes? Your Chromebook. Please bring your Chromebook. We had a lot of students by like the end of the year last year that were like, oh, I left it at home. I didn't feel like bringing it. Yeah, there's a lot of times when you don't need it, but when you do need it, your artist is like, hey, look this up, or we need to do this. We need you guys just to have it. Just throw it in your bag. It's okay if it just comes with you, it goes home, that's fine. But please bring your Chromebooks. Other than that, we do not ask you to bring anything at all. We provide everything for you guys. We provide the paint for the mural class. We provide materials for figure drawing, the camera photography class. We have cameras, we have SD cards, we have all of the things, and GarageBand. If you have a camera, you have an instrument, you have that, and you want to bring yours in, that is A-okay. Just know it is at your own risk. It is in your responsibility to keep track of your instrument, of your camera, of those things. We keep track of ours. We're not gonna be able to be like, oh, Danny has her thing here, her keyboard here. And I'm like, which one was it? I don't remember what I did yesterday unless I write it down. So I'm not gonna remember you telling me about your keyboard. Sorry, Danny, I'm thinking on you today. But yeah, so just remember, it's at your own risk, so we do not mind if you bring your own equipment. But that being said, you don't need to. You don't want to lug around your amp, your bass guitar. You don't have to. Next, student attendance. All of my students from last year are already like, oh, I am mean about attendance. You guys can miss one absence. Excused, not excused, I don't really care. If you miss one absence, like one class, I won't say a word. The second class, I start counting on you to make it up. The reason is we only meet once a week. It is a 2.5-hour chunk of time. It is really hard for me to have you make that up. I really don't want you missing class. I understand life happens. It is just the reality. But I need you guys to try your best to be here, and then I need you guys to be proactive about making up your absences. You get bonus points in my brain if you've already emailed me and been like, hey, I'm gonna be gone this day. That's fantastic. You need to communicate with me that you're gonna be absent, and then you need to already be like, how am I gonna make up this class? We meet with an artist, you work with a group, and it's really hard to make up that time. If you're missing in your GarageBand class, your band can't fully rehearse without you there. It makes it more difficult. You're in the acting class. If you're in a group, like it throws everything off. And a lot of our classes work with collaboration. So it is really important that you're there, and if you're not there, you're communicating about it. Dress code, this is the same dress code as your home campus. Please be mindful of what you're wearing, keep it appropriate, no profanity. And then some classes will have a particular dress code that you need to abide by. The first one that comes to mind is the Trash Treasure sculpture class. There are safety reasons we need you to wear certain clothes. Those will be relayed to you by the artists in class, so you will be told what you need to wear, but just know that some classes you have to wear certain things in order to participate. And transportation. Again, it is not provided. I am sorry. We wish, and all the wishes in the world, that we could provide transportation for all of you guys to get here, but we can't. That being said, we will not excuse your absence. You don't have a ride. I really recommend you guys start networking with kids in your class that go to your school, so you have backups, so you can carpool. But there also is White Cat routes. We will gladly talk to you about them. We have a flyer we gave you that tells you how to find your White Cat routes if need be, and possibly, cross our fingers, we might be able to cover some bus passes. But please talk to us about it and let us know if you're interested in that or if you're curious about it, even if it's as a backup. Okay?
And I'm gonna be pulling, she'll be teaching class this week with the artist. I don't typically teach unless it's Sunday or something, but this week, look for me. I'm gonna be popping in every day and asking for people that would be considering the White Cat and helping you guys out one-on-one to figure out how to ride that bus. And also get an idea for how many of you there would be. Because when I reached out to White Cat and asked for free passes, they said, well, do you want 5 or do you want 200? And so I just need to start to get a little better number of who would actually use it. So this week, that's kind of my homework during class. So when you see me pop in and say, who would potentially ride the bus, make sure you come and talk to me about that so that I can start to maybe help you out with the finance portion of that, and then also make sure you know what bus to get on and at what time and all of that. So I'm gonna come in and kind of help with that piece of it. So talk to your parents when you get home. The city bus is not as daunting as you would think. It's pretty easy. There is a stop right in front of every one of the high schools, and it will bring you to the stop right in front of Yuma High. They are clean. We have many students ride in last year very successfully. So that is an option for you, and we're hoping to make it a free option soon.
I also forgot to mention, I do have a lot of parents that have been asking me about timeframes. Getting from your home's high school to here, yes, sometimes it is a stretch. I am lenient. If you show up at 3:05, I'm going to be angry if it's early. I know traffic is what it is, but just try your best. It's actually it's not too bad. I have a lot of students at school that get here fine, go play Gila Ridge. Everyone gets here relatively fine. And we do provide food. I'm working on it. It might not be this week, but starting hopefully next week, we will have our free supper meals from the Yuma High cafeteria. They're awesome, and they give us free supper meals. So we have food for students. You don't have to worry about swinging my back box and being late.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk about performances. Some classes in the program are super performance heavy because they're performing arts. And then there's other classes that are more visual or media arts, which means you're doing more projects, so working with technology and stuff like that. Our performance-based classes will be out in the community throughout the semester. I don't have a schedule of performances for you yet, but we typically do a takeover at Cafecito as soon as it cools off a little bit in the outside area on the stage. I'm looking for other venues in town that would welcome our performing arts classes. So if you know of any connections, like if you own La Bodega, or if you know Luisi's, or you have a friend that has a trailer park that wants performances throughout the year, just if you have any ideas of where we could get out into the community with our performing arts classes, please holler and let me know, because we get out into the community as much as possible. That's the goal of the classes. But then there's other ones too, like if you're a drawing class, obviously we're not going to go out and perform, you're going to come here and work on that skill. So everybody in the program will be presenting in a very informal way though in December. We have already booked up this building, and so the performing arts classes will be up on stage, but the other classes will have kind of a gallery type of presentation, or maybe you're even just having some parents kind of wander through. It's an informal event. It's like an open house, really, where you get to come in as parents and just see what we're all about. But it's not like a formal sit-down performance like you would think of maybe like a play or a dance concert. It's more come walk through the building and see what we're up to. Okay, please mark your calendars for December 10th. That is a mandatory event for all students in the program. So just please mark your calendars for that. And then at the end of the year in May, we do have what I talked about, where you sit down. We don't sell tickets, but it's actually a seated presentation of our classes in a more formal, and that would be in the spring and May. For some of the like sculpture class, maybe up here presenting some work, but maybe that looks like a gallery out in the lobby that they're presenting. So the format of that, as we're growing, make it, I don't know if we'll all fit in here, but informal open house type thing, December 10th. The other performance will be in May 13th. please mark your calendars for those. Those are mandatory events for all math students. Okay, and hopefully parents as well, so you can come watch them and support them. If you know of anywhere that those classes can perform, then please shoot me an email or come talk to me and let me know, because that's things I'm looking for, is ways that we can get like our show choir into the community. I'm definitely gonna look into the city of Yuma hosted events, like Art in the Park, Art Festival on Main Street, candle lighting, things like that. There's ways that the city already kind of supports performances like that, but if you have more like maybe businesses or things that could support it, let me know, please.
All right, more of me talking about to you guys. Parents Fair, if you are not familiar with Parents Fair, this is what the Union High School District prefers to send out the communication to you. All of you probably have gotten several messages already from them about the start of the school year and things to know. This is our preferred way of communication. Please make sure that you have Parents Fair downloaded. Take a few minutes today to download it, have it all set up and registered, because it is the easiest way for us to reach you. Again, communication in this program is really important because we are not at your home campus. It's a little harder for us to reach out to you sometimes. So with field trips, any travel, things like that, I often have to send out permission slips. And while I am all about paper and pen when it comes to assignments, when it comes to permission slips and sending out 40 permission slips to a bunch of teenagers and hoping that it makes it to you and then hoping that it makes it back to me in time for a field trip, when I only see them once a week, it stresses me out. Parents Fair has a nice handy form that you just click a few things and your permission slip is signed, and I already have a visual copy of it. So that is the best way for me to do that. In a pinch, yes, we can do paper, but please just have Parents Fair, because if we're on a field trip and I need to send an update to you, it is a really quick way to do that. If we have power go out here at Yuma High, so when the light will be nearby, it was gone with power. So we had to cancel class that day, and sometimes it's last minute, and I really want to get it to you guys as soon as possible. So Parents Fair is the best way for that. Also, oh, my brain just forgot what it was.
Oh, I know what it was. I know what you're going to say. It was about if you respond back to the messages,
Yeah.
it doesn't go to the group.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. Third time's a charm. Maybe I'll remember everything this time. When I send you a message, if I'm sending you a single parent message and like you get it from me, when you reply, it is not a group message. I might send out generic information like, hey, figure it out. We're going to be doing this today. If you reply to me, it is only coming to me. It is not a group message. I have parents in the past who are worried about, like, if I respond to you, it's going to be like really annoying. It's only to me. If I send you a message and you reply, I am the only one who gets it back. So you don't have to worry about that. And I love it when people reply to my messages, even if it's just a little heart, whatever it is, please. It makes me feel like I'm not just sending information into the unknown. But yeah. What's up? For us, no. It will automatically, if your student's enrolled in our program, they will already, like, you'll get them from us. So, yeah, good question though.
It is, I know that District 1 uses Parents Fair as well, so if you're coming from a District 1 school, you likely already have that app on your phone. You may have to go in and add Yuma Union, but we are linked up with your home campus schedule. So even though you're meeting here, we're still all part of Yuma Union, like it's all the same. Yeah, so it's gonna just basically link up with the classes that you're in, it's messaging for that. So you wouldn't have to go in and like add an app over to the Yuma Union. We're part of Yuma Union. We have a leadership program in math that we started. We started it the first year, but with very few students. Last year, we really started to build it up a little bit. We call them leading artists, or LAs. Some of you probably saw Sylvia Martin. She was sitting next to me at the table, checking people in. She's been a leading artist for 2 years now. And is getting ready to start her senior year. So what it means to be a leading artist is that you are given leadership opportunities throughout the year, both in class, but also outside of class. We nominate these students about a year, what is the word, a month into the school year. So probably late August, early September, all of the staff will sit down and say, hey, who's showing an aptitude for leadership in their classes? Like who's really stepping up and taking on some leadership roles? We'll have a conversation among ourselves about who we feel would really deserve this opportunity just based on what they're showing in class. And then at that point, they'll be awarded the title of leading artist. Those kids are given a special shirt that they wear. So like at the open house and just things, they have a different shirt that they wear that kind of sets them apart. But we also give them opportunities to be leaders within the class, like maybe run groups. They would probably be the student that starts a little group chat so that they can text each other things within class. We don't get into text messaging with students or anything like that. So a lot of times there'll be another layer of communication to the kids using text. I took those kids twice throughout the year last year to present at the board meeting and give updates to the superintendent and our school board absent too, so they got to speak in front of the whole school board. There's just a lot of little ways that when we need student leaders, that's the pool of students that we choose from. And then it looks great on a resume, right? And then as we start to build up, we're going to start a booster club this year, which would allow money to hopefully flow a little more freely through the program. As we start to do that, I would like this to be an opportunity to earn scholarships as well. These are juniors and seniors, so upperclassmen in the program. And as we start to earn money, we could award scholarships basically to these kids for being leaders within the program. I would also, we didn't get to it last year, we really would also like to take these kids on maybe some college trips as well, like maybe campus tours. I'm thinking like if we went up to see ASU's art department, or if we went to go check out U of A or whatever schools they're interested in, this would likely be the group of students that would get priority for trips like that. So there's hopefully a benefit to the students as well, but it also benefits the program to have some built-in leadership that we can easily pass on to and let the students run areas in the program. They get to know each other. It's kind of a fun little thing. You can ask Chloe about it if she's if you knew you're interested in it. A lot of kids say, how do I apply? You don't. You just step up in class. Yeah, you naturally just be a leader and let people notice you. And then that's how you apply. And then your name comes up when we have a conversation. Okay, things like, hey, Ms. Van Horn, is there anything I can help you out with today? Hey, can I go get the food from the cafeteria for you? Can I pass the food for you? Things like that. It shows leadership, right? It shows that you're willing to speak up when you see the need for help there. So that's how you would apply to be a leading artist.
Question?
Any questions? I saw your hand go up earlier, and maybe you forgot now what you were going to ask. Do you remember?
A little bit louder.
Certain classes.
As far as like special expectations, I know like the dance class will have to dress out, you know, so you can move. I know that the sculpting class is going to spend a decent amount of time at Weld Like a Girl's shop where you're ready to weld, and so there will be some clothing expectations, like you're not going to weld in flip-flops, right? Like stuff like that. But over and above that, I think the expectations are fairly broad and generic for all of the classes. If I just think, what are the expectations for math? You are here and you are not, you're ready to learn, right? Like you're excited to learn the things that we're working on. What gets to be a challenge in the math class is a kid that shows up and sits in the corner and is kind of checked out until we ask you to join us. That's not typically going to go well. Okay, it's people that show up because you want to learn about filmmaking or recording music or whatever it may be, you know, learning the choreography for the musical. We're not begging you to do it because you want to be there doing those things. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here doing this extracurricular program. Okay, so as far as expectation go, we just expect you to be positive and wanting to learn the stuff and not making us like, please come do the things, but it's more like, hey, I'm here because I want to know this stuff. And then outside of that, it's just attendance. I mean, if you're here, then we're going to guide you through the rest of it, but we need you to show up. Okay, that's the hardest part. And unfortunately, I think, well, I've been in the district long enough to see trends in attendance, but unfortunately, attendance trends are not so hot right now at the home campus. And so hopefully that, I think every year it's getting better and better. But we are not like the other campuses where maybe you're gone 3 or 4 days in a row and you show back up. It's like, okay, cool, join us. We're going to be wondering where you're at the first time you're gone. and probably calling home to find out, hey, what's going on? If it's consistent, unfortunately, we need to make room for someone else that would be here. Okay, so that's just the truth of the program, is that we need you here in order to be involved and do the things. What else? Any other questions? Classes do start this week. I want to give an example because it's hard to say you're going to show up tomorrow. You are only showing up tomorrow if you are in, if you're in the acting class, if you're in the photography class, filmmaking and photography. If you're in one of those 4 classes, you will show up tomorrow. But if you're in, for example, triple threat on Fridays, if you show up tomorrow to say hi, I'm going to ask you to come back. Okay, because that class only meets on Fridays. So even though tomorrow's the first day of school, it will only be the first day for those of you that meet on Tuesdays. Okay, if your class is a Wednesday class, then after you leave here today, we won't see you again until Wednesday, and so on. So your first class is this week, but on the day that your class will always meet. That makes sense?
And on that note too, I know I said it earlier, your campus homepage, parents, I know you don't have access, well, I think you can, but most of you don't want access to your kids' Canvas page. If you are unsure about something, you don't know what's coming up, you don't know the dates and stuff, I always update their homepage with what's going on. This schedule is on there, but also upcoming events and things like that. So please always just take a second and be like, hey, log on your Canvas and show me your homepage so I can see what it is. And they're like, I don't know. I promise I try to put it in as many places as possible. That is the first place I do. So if you're unsure when they get access to Canvas, they can check.
So a lesson, we have a new garage band teacher this year, and I am loving him so far because he's just so super motivated. And he said something last week to her that I was like, so when they get to see, for example, garage band, that's a class where they're going to come form basically like jam bands that you have in your garage and learn to cover songs. So they're just like, it is, just like talk, just see. So I'll use that class as an example, right? He said, yeah, classes on Wednesday, that's rehearsal. Right? Because they're together. Practice was what you do when you go home to learn. You're a part of that rehearsal, right? So we're not going to give assignments that's like, hey, go home and make sure you practice this one guitar piece or whatever. You're going to know that because when you show up next week and you're in your rehearsal with your band base, they're going to know if you didn't progress at all from last week to now. That looks different in every class, right? I can see the drawing class. I mean, that's a lot more individualized, you know, maybe it's just finishing up a drawing that you started in class. That
Usually it's like,
finish.
here's something, draw something over the week. And it's never intense long homework. It's usually something related to it just to give them practice. But there'll be a few times here and there when we have like a big thing coming up, they might have taken too long in class to get to it or something like that. But no, there's not going to be like paper writing homework assignments over the week.
And while we have parents here, let's talk grades for a minute. So if you're an incoming freshman, you may not know the buzzword as much, but standards-based grading, it's this whole shift in how you grade students. And so, you know, if you boil it down, what it looks like is we're not going to give you points for every assignment. We're going to see how you test and award a grade based on your ability to show you know it. There's goods and bads that go along with that. Do kids do homework if they don't get points for it? Some do, the ones that want to do well on the test, right? But it also, for some students, doesn't really give you that motivation to finish every little assignment if you're not getting points for it per se. So that's about, if you have an incoming freshman, this is about to maybe be a shift in the way you think about homework, grading, assignments, stuff like that. We do standards-based grading, but because we want to see that you're doing the big picture things. Like if we're rehearsing and we have a performance, typically the grade's going to be tied into showing the performance. But there's also art standards that tie into critiquing others, taking critiques, reflecting on other art works and having deep thoughts about what that means. So there's a lot of art standards that aren't just like showing the final product. And so the assignments in class are created very intentionally by her. She's always said this, but we use standards-based grading. She's really looking into what the art standards are. And the projects are designed for the kids to show that they're creating, responding, connecting. There's all, it goes pretty deep, but it's all standards-based graded. So it's like if you had a homework assignment, it's not to say that if you showed up next week and you didn't bring the piece of paper, it's going to affect your grade dramatically because you didn't do your homework. It's more like, hey, you didn't do the practice to get this big skill that we're grading for. So it's more like a show me you know it kind of thing. And a lot of it is done within groups as well here because it's a lot of collaboration. What else? Yeah.
Communicate with me.
Communication.
If you guys are in any extracurriculars, anything that you know, you're in a sport, you're in whatever, as soon as you know there's a conflict, you let me know and we will see what we can do. We can see how we can work around it. I know that things are going to get missed. Life's going to happen. Rehearsals are going to happen for other things. I just need to know about it so we can start planning and getting you, so you don't get behind, basically.
Parents don't want to put you in the middle of two adults, right? Like if she's telling you have to be here on Wednesday at 3, and Miss Galavetta at Cibola says, no, you need to be in marching band auditions on Wednesday at 3. Both of these adults that I answer to are telling me I have to be there. I'm not two people. We can't do that. I'm going to put you in a bad situation where ultimately you have to decide and then one person down, right? So instead of going about it that way, we want to advocate for you. So if you tell us, hey, this marching band audition is on Wednesday, I have a class on Wednesday, we can reach directly out to her and say, hey, what's the fair way to accommodate for this? Probably we'll say, like, you go there for an hour or so and then head over here. Or we decide, oh, what we're doing in class today is something you could catch from us. So we have to go do that. This works really well for sports. Typically, if it's a game, we're going to let you go do that. But if it's a practice, we're going to ask that you come here. But we'll work that out directly with your coach versus you being stuck in the middle. Okay, so when she says communicate, when you get that piece of paper with your practice schedule, your game schedule, your drama production, if you're running the soundboard, right, and they can't do it without you, like, come sit down in her office and say, I need your help figuring out when I should be where, because we're happy to do that with you so that you're not stuck in the middle and you feel like I can't just, basically they're asking me to pick one program or the other. Everyone in the district should be aware that this is an academic program that is not only for a grade, but holds a lot of integrity. It would be like asking you to miss your math class during the day. It's an academic class, so it's fair to say, but we have practice. And this is part of your academics. It's going on your transcript. And so everyone's pretty understanding, but sometimes they're the most understanding when they hear it from me. Does that make sense? So come communicate, and then we'll be your voice in that situation. I know that Cibola, if any of you are in the band at Cibola, there are auditions on Wednesday, but there's also the first time of the year for Remains Band here. And so I reached out to her and she said, oh no, it's not a conflict. I have to come to Garage Band. It's all good. They can come see me later. Right? And so now all those band kids don't have to have that conversation, so just please communicate with either one of us and we can hash that for you. Okay, it's a really good question.
If you guys have any more questions, you feel free to stay, hang out, and we can chat about them or anything else. Make sure, can you go to the last slide?
Yeah.
That today, before you leave, we get your concurrent enrollment form. That form is what we need to tell the district that you did this class and that you're going to get credit for it. So we do need that form from you. If today would be the best, but if I know some students came here without their parent, please bring that to class.
Yeah.
But otherwise, just hang out for a few minutes, get that filled out, and then make sure that you checked in with that yellow sheet at the front. If you came in a little later, come touch base with Mrs. Spurlock, and we'll make sure we get you signed in and that we've talked to you. We have a few questions, and then set up your parent square.
Yes, parent square. It's like text messaging, but without all the weird, let me have your phone number part.
Yes, that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
And if you want to volunteer, if you're open to it, the Booster Club, or just being a chaperone or hanging out, or you're like, hey, I love painting and I'm an extra body when you guys need to paint a mural. That would be fantastic. We have the piece of paper, one side's YCAT, the other side's volunteer. Go ahead and scan that QR code and fill out the form and let us know. I promise not to bug you unless we need help. And if you're like, no, then I won't bug you anymore. It's all just if you want to or if you're able to. But we just want to get a list so that's easy to find you, I guess.
Haha, it's 2:59. I said it would take an hour. We nailed it. All right.
Thank you guys.
Adios. We'll see you later this week, but if you have questions, come see us.
Good.
I have a question actually.
What's up?
So my class, the sound machine, it's Thursdays 3 to 5:30, but I have
Uh-huh.
a club at my school which it starts from 3 to and it ends at 4, and it's on Thursdays as well.
So unfortunately, you would have to choose one or the other because that's the only day that class meets, and so we would need you in class. What club are you in?
JSA, Kofa JSA.
Okay. And they only meet Thursdays. Is there any way they could meet on a different day? I don't know how many people are in that club or whatever, but maybe they could
Um,
meet a different day. I don't know.
it's
Don't run away.
it's just because like I'm an officer of the club, so I'm able to attend like meetings where we have planning meetings. But obviously, like that Thursday is when we have the general meeting for like everybody else to come in.
Okay. Yeah, no, unfortunately, you're tied up on Thursdays if you do the sound machine class. So that's
Okay.
it. But it's a decision for you to make. I'm not going to micromanage that. You know, wherever you feel like your heart is in it. I mean, that's really up to you as a student. But the requirement would be if you do sound machine that you're available Thursdays from 3 to 5:30.
Okay, then I'll just attend the sound machine. I'll make it work.
Okay. And maybe there's the potential to move the day of the week. I don't know. Maybe you could bring it up. If you're an officer, maybe they'll entertain the idea.
Okay, thank you.
All
It's
right.
I
Yeah,
just wanted to ask because I didn't know.
yeah, no, I appreciate you
Okay.
asking. It's better to know now than to get too far in and then realize it doesn't work. So
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
and as well, the meeting talked about the concurrent enrollment form.
we'll give it
When
to you
would I get
first day of
that?
class. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll have some for you. So just make sure you grab one when you show up for class on Thursday.
And then just turn it up as soon as I could.
Right. You can bring it the following week if you want.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all I have to ask.
No problem. We'll see you later.
See you. Bye bye. Huh?